Syria's permanent representative to the UN, Dr. Bashar al-Jaafari, has stressed that Israel has continued to ignore UN resolutions that have called for its withdrawal from the occupied Arab lands and for the reinstitution of the Palestinian people's rights. During the meeting of the First Committee of the UN General Assembly's 68th cycle on nuclear arms, al-Jaafari called on the international community to pressure Israel to join the Nuclear Non-proliferation Treaty and to subjugate its nuclear installations to the supervision of the International Agency of Atomic Energy.
Delivering Syria's word at the UN Security Council, Syria's permanent representative to the UN, Dr. Bashar al-Jaafari, has affirmed Israel's disregard of UN resolutions for more than half a century of its occupation of Arab lands. During a UN Security Council session dedicated to the situation in the Middle East, al-Jaafari pointed out that the Israeli-Qatari collusion with the fundamentalist terrorists who wreak havoc in the UN disengagement force area in the Golan revealed the identical policy of both sides and their schemes against Syria and its people, as well as against the safety of the forces of the UN itself. Al-Jaafari criticized the false accusations deliberately leveled by certain delegations in order to serve their own project in support of terrorism and extremism in Syria and the region in general. He pointed out that the main objective for which the provision the state in the Middle East was introduced was to exclusively discuss ways of ending Israeli occupation of Arab lands, not to discuss the internal situation in the countries of the region. Al-Jaafari stressed that in order for the UN to preserve its credibility, certain well-known states should end their double-standard policy through taking effective measures that would compel Israel to abide by UN resolutions. In his word before the First Committee of the UN General Assembly's 68th cycle during its meeting held on nuclear arms, al-Jaafari stressed Syria's support for the world tendency to build an international society free of the use or the threats with the use of force, whether such force involves nuclear or traditional weapons. Al-Jaafari noted that Israel has never been a signatory to any treaties and agreements that govern the prohibition of the proliferation of nuclear arms. He stressed the need to hold a conference on setting up a zone free of nuclear arms and all other weapons of mass destruction in the Middle East, and to pressure Israel to take part in it as it is the only nuclear site in the area.